Everyone. How are you? Welcome. Let me just get my setup set up here so that everything is in its place. Now, first of all, can you hear me? That's the most important part. And can you see the screen that says the 4 secrets to living a high vibe life? Anyone? All right. I see your comments. Well, welcome. Let me know where you guys are coming from today. If you don't know, I am in Walnut Creek, California, which is near San Francisco, for those of you who don't know. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Julie. So freaking glad to have you on. Where are you guys located? Where are you coming from? It is super hot where we are, so I want to warn you that I may be drinking water throughout this presentation, and I tend to have a weak voice. So let's hope I don't lose it by the end of this. You guys are Santa Rosa, my old stomping ground. Yeah, love it. Livermore. Hey, I love this Bay Area showing up representing Redwood City. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. In my last one, I had someone from Indiana, Minnesota, Maryland. I forget where else, but anyway, so I'm glad that we're all Bay Area people. I love that. Okay. Well, again, I'm so glad that you guys are here and I'm excited to jump into these 4 secrets to living a high vibe life. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's the goal for today. I'm going to show you how you can make the ultimate shift from feeling unhappy, unmotivated, and overwhelmed in your life to creating a system for being happy. You're going to learn that happiness actually isn't a secret at all. It's a system. Now, this is important. If you stay with me until the very end of this masterclass and decide to go on this life-changing journey with me, I'll give you the opportunity to get your hands on a very special bonus, and I'll give you the exciting details at the end of this masterclass. So, this is your PSA, right? Make sure to turn off all your cell phones and give your full attention so that you guys walk away from this feeling inspired to make change in your life. I'm that little PSA, right, for at the movie theater. So, first off, I know you guys are super busy. So, I know that means you showed up today for a very specific reason. And that's something you want to work on in your life. So, maybe you're here because you're looking to change something internally so that you can pursue your biggest goals and dreams. Maybe there's something you've always wanted to do, but you haven't done it because you didn't have the confidence to do it. Or maybe you want to think a little bit more positively. Maybe you recognize that you need to start seeing things from a different perspective and you need to leave behind some of these negative thoughts so that you can truly understand how awesome and amazing that you are. Or maybe you just feel overwhelmed, like there's so much to do and so little time to do it. Am I right? Maybe you're looking to stop procrastinating and feel more at peace and less worried and less anxious, especially in this time. So, since you're likely here for one of those reasons, I want you to hit the chat box right now. You guys have already showed me that you guys know how to hit the chat box. Give me a 1, 2, or 3 as to why you guys are here today. 1, 2, or 3. You're excited to pursue your goals. You want to leave behind negative self-image and feel more confident, or you're just intrigued with feeling more at peace in your life. Oh my gosh, I love 1, 2, and 3. Hitting the jackpot. I love that. 3. Yes, definitely right now, 3 is such a big deal, right? I know for me, 2 was a big deal too. But you guys are all across the board. I love that. So, whatever your motivation for showing up today, I fully support you. And just know that I think you're a total boss for being in control of your life and wanting to make positive changes. So many people are complacent in their lives, and that's not you. So, I can't wait to connect with you and get to know you more. So let's just talk about me very quickly, a little introduction. I'm Lindsay Ashworth, and I help women celebrate their lives from the inside out. I'm an entrepreneur with a party decorations business and a full-time job in marketing communications. And I have a podcast called the Celebration Effect podcast, which you might be aware of. And as I mentioned, we live in near San Francisco in the Bay Area. So this is me and my husband, Aaron, and we have a French bulldog who we're obsessed with. His name is Boddington. He was named after a Friends episode because we are huge Friends fanatics. Shout out to anyone else on the call who's a Friends fanatic as well. I know we have a few here. So of course, I have a few pics of my beautiful daughter, Reagan, who is 4 and constantly motivating and inspiring me. And of course, the picture at the bottom is where I spend most of my time creating in my office. Whoop, whoop. I knew we had a Friends fan here. So throughout our time together today, I'm going to share the systems that have made it possible for me to be a happier mom, wife, and business owner. It created a space for me to have more self-acceptance and body confidence and the belief in myself to go after some of my biggest dreams in both business and in personal life. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you were the best version of yourself as a mom, a wife, or a person? How would you show up differently in life if you were being the best version of yourself? Here's the thing I want you to really understand at the end of all of this, that choosing to develop the right habits, systems, and environments in your life means that you no longer have to feel unhappy, unmotivated, or helpless in your life, but instead you begin to see the possibilities that life has to offer and how easily happiness shows up in your life. So, as promised, I'm now going to walk you through the 4 secrets to living a high vibe life and the simple systems to fast track your way to happiness. Because, as I mentioned earlier, happiness isn't a secret, it's a system. A little drink of water there. Man, it's hot in here. So, secret or system number 1 is developing the awareness that we can change the story in our lives. Happy and satisfied people understand that we have the power to change the stories that we're telling ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of. So let's talk about what changing your story really looks like and how you can do that to be happier. So the first thing we need to know about changing our stories to be happier in life is to realize that first and foremost, our feelings are the quality of our thoughts. That is, the feelings that you feel are a product of what you're thinking about. More often than not, people think that their emotions are running their lives and causing us to think negative thoughts and live an unhappy or unfulfilled life, when in actuality, it's the other way around. Let's take a deeper look at this. So, what's common? What's the common thread about these things, these feelings on the screen? I feel ugly, fat, sad, stupid, scared, anxious, and worthless. Just as I read them, it makes me feel sad. You might think that the common thread behind all of these feelings on the screen is that they're negative. And while that's true too, the idea is that these feelings all originated from thoughts first. So let's look at them. If you feel ugly, it's because maybe you're thinking about the size of your nose or the huge zit on your face. Am I right? You don't just inherently feel ugly. If you feel anxious, it's because you're thinking thoughts like, how am I going to get this all done in time? This is too much to handle. What will happen if I leave the baby with the babysitter? Right? I've got some new moms here. You know what I'm talking about. So how can you actually see how your feelings originate from your thoughts? Now, what's the effect that these thoughts then have on our lives? Let's go even deeper. You might be wondering, hey, if my emotions come from my thoughts, where do my thoughts come from? Our thoughts come from our beliefs, and our beliefs are just thoughts that are repeated over time. And our beliefs form our identity, i.e., who we think we are. So, what do I mean by this? Well, this is what you identify as. So, this is when you use those I am statements, right? Like, I am shy, I am depressed, I am anxious. So, let's look deeper. Let's look at someone who maybe is shy. Maybe one time as a child, they meet a new person in a group setting and they feel awkward. That's the emotion. I know I can relate to this because I have an old story that says that that's how I identify. And perhaps the reason they feel awkward is they were thinking thoughts like, what if this person doesn't like me, right? This person doesn't care what I have to say. I don't think I'm vibing with this person. All things we can relate to. So once they experience this over and over, i.e., they have a thought which triggers a feeling, and this happens quite often when they meet a new person, they start to believe, well, hey, maybe I'm not good around new people. So, with that belief or that story that you play over and over in your head, your brain starts to categorize that. So, it can start automating it. So, your brain doesn't have to question, am I a shy person every time I meet a new person, right? Your brain doesn't have time for that. It says, you're shy. Lady, don't waste your time talking to new people. It's not worth it. It's going to be really uncomfortable. Yuck, right? And then you begin to identify as someone who's shy. So then all the other stuff, the beliefs, the thoughts, and the emotions become automated. So this quote is from Dr. Joe Dispenza in a book called You Are the Placebo, which I love. It says 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, skills, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 35 right now, so it makes me a little nervous. In the example I gave about being shy, it's not that you're necessarily born shy, right? It's that you have trained your brain over and over by thoughts and feelings and behaviors that that's who you are. These are stories that we tell ourselves about who we are. And 9 times out of 10, we make decisions in our lives based on who we believe we are, i.e., what our identity is. And the decisions we make in our lives affect how happy we then become. Because if we're telling ourselves the story that we're confident and smart and good people, then we won't have a problem making decisions that lead to happier circumstances and experiences, right? But if we believe that we're limited, if we're telling ourselves these stories that we're lacking, that we're not good enough, that we're dumb, that we're ugly, and all the other negative stories that I'm sure we have, then that determines our decision making and leads to unhappier, more limited experiences. So, I have a question for you. What's a negative story that you've been telling yourself for years? Now, you don't have to type in what your negative story is, but give me a 1 if you've got a negative story. Is there something you play in your mind all the time that you can identify right now? Yeah, that's something that I always think about, right? Yes, a 1. I know we all have it, right? We all have these negative stories that we tell ourselves. For me, as I mentioned, I kind of identified as a shy person who needed some time to warm up to new people. But going through all of this development and learning that I have the power to change those thoughts, I started to question that. Questions like, do I have to be shy? What if I changed how I saw myself? And it all starts with the questioning your negative stories that are holding you back in life. So, here are the 5 steps to changing your story to become your ideal self, who you really want to be. So, the first step is becoming aware of your stories, the ones that you guys just typed 1 for, right? And asking yourself those questions. And let me just say that anything you think negatively about yourself is just a story. Because if you think that you were born to be anything than absolutely amazing and worthy and wonderful, then you know it's a negative story because you would never tell a newborn baby. I know some of you have had kids. Can you imagine walking up to them as a newborn baby and saying, hey, listen, if you're going to be worthy in this world, you're going to need to be perfect. And you know what? You need to make a lot of money too. And also you have to have the ideal body. So, don't think you're worth anything until all that happens. Okay. No, of course not. Right. So the first step is awareness, and you want to become aware by asking yourself the right questions. Albert Einstein said that the important thing to do is to never stop questioning. And I think in our lives, we just accept things too easily these days, right? The real truth and the real source of change is in the questioning, especially about ourselves. So once you're at the point of questioning it, you want to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this story really true? And the way you can disprove it is by identifying, 1 or 2 things in your life that prove the theory wrong. So for example, was there any time in your life as a shy person that you talked to someone new and it went really well? And if so, that proves your theory wrong instantly. If you think you can't change or you aren't good enough, think of a time where you did change or where you were good enough. I promise you will find evidence counter to the story every single time. And the third part is to be that person. Think of someone who has what you want. How do they live? How do they act? What do they say? What do they value? and start to live and be like that person. Start to show up in the world as someone who already has that new story that you want. And the last part in the process is to repeat it over and over again until one day you wake up and you're just different. And it's not visible to the naked eye, but you feel different. Something inside of you has changed. So, because remember, your beliefs are literally just thoughts repeated over and over again. Change your thoughts, change your beliefs, change your life. It's that simple. So, let's move on to secret/system number 2. The second system is a growth mindset. A growth mindset simply means that you're someone who believes that you can be developed. Just like we just talked about, you can grow and change. Just having the awareness that it's possible for you to be anyone you want to be is empowering, isn't it? A growth mindset thrives on challenge and sees failure as redirection instead of proof that we aren't good enough. This might seem so simple, but don't underestimate it. When was the last time you really looked at your life and thought, could I be more? Could I do more? People who have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset worry less about looking smart and put more energy into learning. Because why waste your time proving over and over again how great you are, right? When you could be getting better. Here's the thing that 95% of people don't get. And I was going to put this in your workbook, but then I decided, you know what? We don't need a workbook. We're adults. We don't need homework. We're done with that, right? Happy people know that they need to make ongoing education a non-negotiable habit in their lives. Why? Because if you aren't growing, you're dying. It's kind of morbid. Have you heard this quote before? I used to think it was kind of stupid, honestly. I thought I went to college, I got 2 degrees, I didn't need to learn anymore because learning is hard work, right? Like when you get a new program at work that you're forced to switch over to and there's a huge learning curve. Or when you're used to an iPhone and your husband hands you his Android and you just shove it back in his face because you're like, I don't know how to work this damn thing. But enough about me. Learning new things and growing can feel hard, right? But when we start making it a habit in our lives, it starts to feel less hard. When we were babies and we were learning how to walk, we fell down a lot, but we weren't like, F this. I don't think I want to put the effort into this. Walking isn't worth it, right? Can you imagine if we said that? But as adults, we do this too often. We quit growing because not only does it feel hard, but we're scared of change. Just think about it. There are countless people in jobs they don't like, but they don't leave because they're afraid they won't find anything better. People stay in relationships they don't like because they're afraid to be alone. We don't pursue our biggest dreams because we're scared of failing. It would be too much effort to look for someone who actually treats us like we deserve to be treated, right? It'd be too much effort to look for a new job that we could absolutely fall in love with. It'd be too much work to put effort into pursuing a dream we've always wanted to do because it might not work out. So oftentimes people think that by not growing or changing, you're staying safe. And usually that's on the subconscious level. But they also think that by not growing, you're staying the same. But what we don't understand is that you're either moving forward towards something bigger and better or actually going backward. Why? Because of the opportunity cost. We learn this in economics, right? The longer you stay in a bad job, bad relationship, unhappy, or not in love with your life or your body, you trade these years for years you could be in a job you love, a relationship that thrives, and a fulfilling and wonderful life, right? Okay, I know we don't play basketball, but this makes sense, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. We forget that by not pursuing these things at all, that you're guaranteed not to get the goal in the first place. Somehow we've convinced ourselves that it's safer to live life like this. We say, better safe than sorry, but that's not a way to live, is it? This is your life. Do you like exactly who you are right now? And if not, why aren't we working towards being better and living more fulfilled lives and loving ourselves more? The thing is, many people go through life looking for some kind of spiritual experience, an awakening, some kind of aha moment. But here's something to think about. All of life is spiritual because who we are is who we are in spirit. Therefore, all growth is spiritual. When we're committed to the process of personal growth, we're committed to growing and developing who we are in spirit. Having a growth mindset also means that even if you've learned something before, doesn't mean you know it. For example, you may understand what it means to break your arm, but if you've never experienced it, do you really know what that's like? Same goes for things we've learned, right? I read The Secret back in the day and thought I knew what the law of attraction was. Come to find out, there was so much and is still so much that I have to learn. Sometimes we learn something in our lives and we think, we understand it because we read the book or, we saw it on the news or we Googled it one time, but we have yet to know and apply it in our lives. And we really can't be blamed for this type of thinking because it was what we were taught in school, right? We were taught that you read a book, you memorize it, you take the test, you pass the class, and you get the certificate and you're set. But it's about the knowing and the application of the material in our lives that actually makes the difference. So maybe you've read self-help books and you're really into growth and improving your mindset and living your best life. But just reading a book doesn't change us. Look at all the people who have read this book, Think and Grow Rich. You guys familiar with this one? Over 100 million copies of that book have been sold, and probably more since I wrote this down. So why aren't 100 million people rich? It's because people aren't applying the knowledge. Tony Robbins said it's one thing to know what to do, it's another thing to do what you know. Like maybe you understand that you should be working out at least 3 times a week, but are we actually doing it? So I want to introduce you to this thing called the forgetting curve that German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus proved back in the 19th century, a long time ago. He figured out that when you first learn something, the information disappears at an exponential rate, meaning that you lose most of what you read in the first few days after reading this. Does this ring a bell with anyone, with any self-help book that you've read? I know it does for me. Same goes for speaking events or conferences, right? You might leave there feeling energized and excited, but after a few days, you're just back in the humdrum of your life and totally forgetting what you heard. Ebbinghaus suggests that in order to retain something that you've learned, you need to reinforce the training regularly. I mean, makes sense, right? So, what does it mean? It means that if you're looking to improve yourself in order to live a more happy and fulfilled life, you not only have to have a growth mindset, but you have to build a system where you're actively applying your new knowledge over and over again in order to see consistent growth and change. I'll be honest with you, up until a few years ago, I wasn't living from a place of growth. I was stuck in the mindset that I wasn't confident, I wasn't smart, I wasn't worthy. But all that has changed because I just chose to believe that there was something more for me. I chose to change my perspective. So, can you see how a growth mindset is really all about your perspective on how you can see things? It allows you to be open to possibilities and hold the belief that anything is possible. Anything. Whether that's for our personal development, our career, our relationships, our bodies, whatever it is. So, what's the best thing about having a growth mindset? Once you recognize that there's always new things to learn and new things to try and new things to think, life gets kind of awesome and exciting because you've built a system that automatically makes you more motivated, inspired, and happier. All right, you guys knew this one was coming, right? Secret or system number 3 is gratitude. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gratitude is vanilla. It's 101. It's simple stuff. You've probably heard the quote, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. And this is absolutely 100% true. Gratitude turns what we already have into enough. However, on top of bringing us happiness, did you know that being more grateful can literally help you manifest more miracles into your life with absolute certainty? Let me tell you how. I'm sure you're interested. Let's talk about your goals. Okay, here's where I'm going to ask you to hit the chat box another time. Tell me if you've ever heard someone say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Anyone? Anyone? I want to lose 10 pounds. Yes, right? Or what about I want to get out of debt? Yeah, we've all been there, right? I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to get out of debt. Now, let's think about these goals for a second. Love the winky face. So, I want to lose 10 pounds. If the goal is to be wanting to get out of debt or wanting to lose 10 pounds, haven't they already achieved that? The wanting, right? They're already there. So if that's the case, then what's the correct way to phrase your goals so that we can create what we really want in life instead of more of the wanting? The correct way to phrase our goals is to write out your goals, giving thanks for that which you want as if you've already achieved it. That can sound kind of confusing. So here's an example. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm fit and trim with a ton of energy to play with my kids, and I love how my body looks and feels. Or I'm so grateful that I'm financially free and always have enough money to do all of the things I've ever wanted to do. This is our next system to happiness, to create a daily routine where we give thanks for the things not only that we already have, but also for the things that are on their way right now that are beyond our wildest dreams. I know what you're thinking. So you're telling me that I have to lie in my gratitude journal every day? You're thinking, but I'll feel like a total fool writing down something that's completely untrue. I can't do that. And believe me, I get it. Wasn't too long ago that I was suffering from postpartum depression. I wasn't happy with my new life as a new mom. I really felt like I just wasn't making it as a mom. It was impossible to console my colicky baby, and I couldn't breastfeed. Being a mom just felt kind of like a huge disaster. Can anyone relate? If you say no, that's okay. Well, during that time, that was when I discovered this whole idea of gratitude journaling and giving thanks for the things I wanted to manifest. So I thought, why not? Oh, I'm so glad you can relate. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one, right? So obviously I thought, why not? What do I have to lose? So I started a daily gratitude practice where I would write down that I had an amazing relationship with my daughter, that we love to laugh and be together, and that I loved being a mom. Oh, yeah. And I had just started my party decorations business on Etsy. So I threw in that I was grateful for 3 daily sales on Etsy because hashtag why not, right? If I was going to try to manifest a better relationship with my daughter and happiness into my life, I might as well ask for a little cash money. Am I right, people? So fast forward just a couple of months, and my relationship with my daughter had done a complete 180. And my sadness and depression was gone. And fast forward just a few years, and I now have a thriving business that I love, and 3 sales per day is no longer a miracle in my life. It's just an everyday occurrence. So after this work for me, I had to know exactly what was going on. What was under the microscope that helped me manifest all of this goodness into my life? So now I finally understand it, and I want to share it with you. Let me ask you, have you ever failed to achieve a goal in your life? Has anyone failed at a goal? Are we all perfect on this call? I mean, I think that you're perfect, but that's just me. I wish I could say no. Yes, daily. Yes, daily. It's so true. So chances are you have, just as you've confirmed. But guess what? Your brain remembers that. And the reason for that is that our brains want to keep us nice and safe. So it encourages us to go after the goals it thinks we can achieve instead of the things that we might fail at. So, as we've talked about, our brains use stories, experiences, and beliefs to tell us what's possible for us in our lives. Because our goals and dreams are so far from where we are right now and what we're comfortable with that our brain's like, you think you could do what? Oh, hell no, lady, you can't do that. Which is why you feel so foolish those first few days or even weeks or even months, if they're big goals, writing in your gratitude journal. But remember, a belief is just a thought repeated over time, right? So what starts to happen is as you write down and give thanks for these goals as if you've already achieved them, your brain starts to take note that this new idea, this new goal is already happening. And it basically realizes that it better get in line with what's going on. So instead of that old track it was playing before about how you can't reach your dreams, it starts to realize that you're already achieving them. So it better give you some thoughts and ideas that align to those goals. So your brain starts to show you those ideas, thoughts, emotions, opportunities that are associated with the new goal that you've now quote unquote achieved, right? Even though in reality you haven't. So that's why this quote is so good. Even though it's so hard for me to remember every single time I do a Facebook Live, but now it's written on the screen so I can read it directly to you. Our brain doesn't align our beliefs to fit our life. It aligns our life to fit our beliefs. Now, it sounds confusing, but it really just means that all the stuff, all the ideas, all these thoughts that you're now having as a result in writing in your journal were probably there the whole time. You just weren't allowing them to come through. So your brain couldn't process these new ideas because it hadn't been trained to recognize that these things were possible for you. So it's safe to say that gratitude is just another proven system to creating happiness and manifesting miracles in our lives. So my question to you is, what would you like to train your brain about what's possible for you? You can think about that as we move on to our final secret, or as we know, a system. And I'm going to take a drink of water. All right, guys. The final system is fitness. And I know what you're thinking. Fitness isn't a secret, and you're absolutely right. I probably don't have to tell you that fitness is good for our health and well-being. We know that it improves cardiovascular health, builds muscle, and helps us achieve the physique we want, right? But here's what you might not realize about what incorporating a more consistent fitness routine can do for you. Remember what Elle Wood said? Exercise increases endorphins. Endorphins make people happy, and happy people don't kill their husbands. Okay, but seriously, do we have any Elle Woods fans here? Yeah. Seriously, according to the Mayo Clinic, exercise reduces depression, increases energy levels, eases anxiety, can help you sleep, boost confidence, all the things I need more of. What about you? One of the things I heard from people over and over again while I was developing this masterclass is that people feel like working out or getting moving just helps clear their mind, like hitting a reset button. Because when your thighs are burning from all those jump squats, you certainly aren't thinking about that coworker that hurt your feelings yesterday. You're in the moment, focused on your workout. And having worked out for at least 4 to 5 days per week for the last 15 years, I can attest to the fact that once I started to see fitness as an activity for my mindset instead of how it would make my body look, things started to shift for me. Because exercise is a celebration of what our bodies can do. And it's the number one way I recommend raising your vibration on any given day. We, especially women, are overthinkers. Am I right, ladies? We're in our head a lot. We think and overthink and rethink about all the things that happen and play them out in our mind. And usually it's pretty negative, right? So working out can help us quiet that chirping self-talk and focus on the workout at hand. It's what I like to call mindset reset. And as we've learned, our mindset is how we perceive things in the world. So if we can hit that reset button and incorporate fitness into our day, we're going to see huge shifts in all areas of our lives as well. So let me ask you guys again, if you're multitasking, come back to me and tell me in the chat box, what's the main thing that holds you back from a consistent workout routine? What is the excuse, I guess, that you throw out? I know for me, laying in bed at 5 a.m., there's a few that come up constantly for me. I'm tired, right? I mean, at 5 a.m., who isn't tired? I'm tired, motivating myself to get going. I know in the morning, I know that's tough. I'm tired, time and energy. I know one of you has a new baby, so I guaranteed you're tired. You know what I mean? Well, one of the most common ones I hear is lack of motivation. And all the things you're mentioning here really kind of line up with that. And so if you're thinking that motivation is one of those things that holds you back, I want you to know you're not alone. That's the number one DM I get on Instagram. No joke. And I sell party decorations. They say, I wish I had your motivation. But in actuality, it's not motivation that keeps me working out. You want to know what it is? It's the fact that I've created exercise as a habit in my life. James Clear wrote a book called Atomic Habits, which I love. And he says, everything in your life is essentially the sum of your habits. And this is so true and consistent with all the other things that we've already talked about today. Setting up a consistent fitness routine, making time to write in our gratitude journals, having more positive thoughts, creating a system for learning, all of those things aren't about who's more motivated or who's got more grit or willpower. It's not because you're lazy. It's because you haven't implemented the right environment that will hold you accountable for doing those things. Why do you think people join expensive gyms or pay for crazy personal trainers and get workout buddies? because it all holds true to creating the right system to have a more disciplined environment. So, what would your life look like if you no longer struggled with motivation to do the things that you want to do because you created the right habits? Would you like me to tell you about something that easily allows you to implement these systems into your life? Can I get a hell yeah? Just remember why you guys showed up today, even though you're incredibly busy. You showed up for a specific reason. Yeah, I'm getting some hell yes. I love this. You showed up for a specific reason. Maybe you want more positivity. You're excited about the idea of feeling more positive in all aspects of your life. You feel unmotivated. You want more energy to pursue a life that you love. You feel overwhelmed. There's a lot to do and so little time to do it. Am I right? Maybe it would be great if we could prioritize the things that matter the most. And maybe you just generally want more. You want to be the best version of yourself while also being a good role model for your kids, your partner, and pursue your biggest goals and dreams, right? At this point, the way I see it, you have two options. So there's option one, you don't make a plan for growth, expansion, and improvement in your life, and you're in the same place next year or even 10 years. Option number two, you 100% commit to implementing habits and systems into your life that will help you improve from the inside out, creating more opportunity, excitement, and possibilities in your life. So, if you're ready to implement a system to help you improve from the inside out and introduce new ways of living, thinking, and being to help you change your thoughts and beliefs and shift your identity, I'd like to personally invite you to the Celebration Effect membership community. Let me tell you about this membership. It's the only mindset and fitness program of its kind that gives you all the resources you need to start celebrating your life from the inside out. So, let me walk you through exactly what you're going to get each month in the Celebration Effect membership. But before I do that, I want to be super open and transparent with you. This is my very first time launching this program. So I know that although I have a plan for how it might be run, this is all about you and your needs. So if we need to make changes or add or remove things based on what's working for you, then that's what we'll do. Nothing here is set in stone, and that's exactly what's most exciting about it. So during the program, we'll learn new ideas to see what's possible for ourselves. We'll create new habits or just instill habits we already know we should have. We'll get accountable for implementing a more consistent fitness routine, and we'll meet like-minded women like you and me who are open to growth and change. The Celebration Effect membership will focus on one specific topic each month to help us feel better. And in just a second, I'll go through a few of those topics so you kind of know what to expect. We'll have gorgeous printables like tip sheets, challenges, worksheets to apply, absorb, and practice the knowledge so we're always moving forward. We'll have guest speakers and coaches. So stop looking all over for the right self-help books, coaches, teachers, and podcasts. I'll bring you experts from different walks of life so that we can learn together about new ways to celebrate your life, right? You'll have the opportunity to ask questions live and get answers to your biggest questions. We'll have weekly fitness videos where let's be honest. Everyone's always asking me, what workout videos do you do? So this is where I get to share that with you guys. There are tons of free resources online for you to, start working out and working towards the body of your dreams, but you don't always know where to look. And that's why I'll find them for you. And you'll never get bored with the same old workout. So I'll be providing those to you weekly so you can work out right from your home with influencers from across the web. And we'll hold each other accountable for fitness. Let me just say, this isn't a weight loss program. It's a place to turn inspiration into transformation. Therefore, we won't be doing weigh-ins or measurements. Each month, you'll be able to hold yourself accountable for working out and enter to win really fun prizes for doing so. And my favorite thing, the Celebration Squad. It can be challenging to stay committed to your personal growth in our busy lives. And on my journey to a more positive me, I always wished I had a group of women who supported it and understood the new ideas I was learning. So here's your chance. With the Celebration Effect membership, you'll get access to an exclusive closed Facebook community where you can post anything and your friends won't be able to see unless, your friends are in there with you, right? It will be filled with inspiring, like-minded women just like you and me who support each other. The Celebration Squad community is what most excites me about this whole thing, and I'll tell you why. There's a great quote. I have no idea who said it, unfortunately, but it says, surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers. But most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you, even when you don't see it in yourself. James Clear, the author of that book I mentioned earlier, says one of the most effective things that you can do to build better habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. Surround yourself with people that have habits you want to have, and you will rise together. And that's what the Celebration Squad means to me. So here's a look at the first few months in the membership. And again, this might change given our preferences, but it's good kind of to give you some ideas. First we'll look at the vision for our lives and really map that out and see what we're going to do with our lives. And then we'll talk about body confidence and acceptance. I mean, this one's so important for me to keep reiterating. And forgiveness. This one is such a passion for me, and I can't wait to talk about it. Now, I'm not extra special, just reminding you here. I don't have more motivation or self-control or willpower than you. I just have a proven system and an open mind. So I know if I can do it, so can you. So right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, what's this going to cost me? And you're thinking this is going to be expensive. Just think about what a personal trainer, a life coach, an online community, all in one typically costs you. And honestly, because of the kinds of results you can create, I probably should charge a lot. In fact, when I asked other membership owners what they would charge for the membership, they told me it should be at least $100 a month. However, I know you, and although I know you're incredibly serious about creating a life you love, that price point would be tough to keep up on each month. So what I did was I cut it in half. I want this program to be affordable to you. I want you to be able to enroll today, jump in, and get started creating the life of your dreams. And that's why I decided to price it much less than I likely should. So if you're ready to get started, all you have to do is head over to atouchofla.com/go to get more details and enroll right now. Now, I know I mentioned a special bonus at the beginning of our masterclass, which is my very own edited 30-minute HIIT workout with 10 minutes of abs, and that you can pull this out anytime that you want to do a quick workout at home. So to get your hands on this bonus, all you need to do is enroll while we're still live on this masterclass. So if you enroll, we'll just send it on over to you. So once again, here's the link if you want to go ahead and check it out. Let me show you what will happen if you do that. So you get to this wonderful landing page, touchofla.com/go, and you're going to click the Start Celebrating button. Then you're going to fill out your fun details. And then you're going to get this confirmation. Hey, girl, you're in. And then you'll get an email, just like all my other emails you've been getting the past few days. And then you'll be able to log into our members only community, which I love. And here's a little sneak peek to what's inside there. A little welcome video. It's a bad kind of little screenshot of me there, but that's okay. We don't care because we have, self-acceptance. And then you're going to go ahead and click into all the things to learn more about what's in the program. You'll join the Facebook group and it's going to be awesome. So once again, if you're ready to get started, go ahead and go to atouchofla.com/go and you can check out more details. Now, here's the thing. Here's one of the things that we talked about. I don't have enough time, and you likely have some excuses for this, and this might be one of them. One of your first thoughts might be, I don't have enough time to dedicate to personal growth. And believe me, I get that. I'm a mom with a full-time job and a business and all the things, right? But let's go back to what we talked about before about beliefs. And what are beliefs? They're just thoughts you continue to think, and then you perceive them as truth, what you believe to be true. Remember that it's sometimes hard to question our beliefs because we don't see them as beliefs, we see them as truths. So if you think you don't have enough time and I tell you that that's a belief, you might say, no, it's not. It's a fact, right? I don't have enough time to devote to personal growth. But the point is, as you now know, it's all about perspective, right? So if you're asking yourself if you have enough time, then maybe you need to start asking it from a different perspective. What you're really telling me is that it's not a priority to you. But the reality is that we all make time for the things that matter most in our lives, right? You never forget to pick up your kids, brush your teeth, or do the laundry. Although, let's be honest, maybe sometimes you do forget to do the laundry. The fact that you're still here means that you're here for a reason, that this stuff is important to you. You're saying that you do have the time. You're just not prioritizing it. So instead of letting yourself off the hook from reaching for your dreams and your goals, I think you might want to ask yourself a better question. Is this something that does matter enough to you that you're willing to make time? And I should add that it's not going to be overwhelming. We're going to make this easy and light, and you can do it at your own pace. There's no amount of participation that's required, so it will be totally not overwhelming. But speaking of overwhelming, some people say, I feel overwhelmed. I know that's another common excuse. And the very fact that you are overwhelmed in life means that this membership is for you. The reality is that if you don't integrate new ways and new tools into your life to reduce overwhelm, how long do you think you can really keep this pace up? How do you think this will impact your physical, mental, and emotional health? Not to mention that when you start to do the inside work on yourself, you're going to find that you're more effective, more efficient, and therefore have more time. Look at that. We just created more time. And of course, there's the money conversation, right? I get it. But how much is being happier, more at peace, more confident worth to you? I'd say it's priceless. I mean, is this a MasterCard commercial? What I love about this program is that it's super affordable in terms of value. Imagine how much a personal trainer, life coaches, and an already built in group of celebrators would cost you. It's a no brainer. Here's one of the best things about a membership: you can cancel anytime. There's no contracts and no commitments. Doesn't that feel like a huge relief? So, if you guys are ready to celebrate your life through improving yourself from the inside out, again, you guys can head over to touchofla.com/go and check out more details so that we can start celebrating together. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. If you don't, you can just give me some hearts or let me know your thoughts. What are you guys feeling? What are you thinking? I'm sure it's just as hot. So, do you get up at 5 a.m. to work out? My alarm goes off at 5:15. So I typically, although recently, I'm not going to lie, I've been putting it off a little bit and I've been sleeping in a little bit more. So I've been getting up a little later. But actually, the reason why I've been getting up that early isn't just to work out, just to work out. It's all this other stuff, right? I try to do a little meditation in the morning, and then I try to write in my gratitude journal all before my daughter comes downstairs. So it's always like, a race to the clock. So if I get up later, I usually just work out, and then I'm not, doing those mindset things, which obviously we've talked about is just so important. You just notice your day is so affected, when you don't do those things. So yeah, try to get up at 5:15. Doesn't always work out, but there's always some time to fit in. You can always fit it in somewhere, right? Even if it's, I have 15-minute HIIT workouts that I have in the program. So it's like, who can't do 15 minutes? You can do 15 minutes. Am I right? So it sounds like you guys are pretty clear, and I'm sure you guys will learn a little bit more as you head on over to, a touch of LA/go. But I just want to, thank you guys so much for being here. And, if you're still on the fence, I want you to think about what your life would look like if you finally felt happier and more positive in life. There is so much going on right now in the world that we all need a little more positivity. Am I right? And I know this will be a great way to kickstart that for you. And I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity because it's only available for a short time. So if you're still on the fence, feel free to reach out to me at lindsay@atouchofla.com or DM me on Instagram at Party Decorations and Positivity. And I'd love to help you on this journey. So again, let me just take a look. Good points about making for other things that are important to you. Laundry and taking care of baby. Yes, exactly. Right. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. So thank you guys. You're the best. I hope to see you guys in the program. I hope you have a wonderful night. And you guys, don't forget to take a little time to celebrate your life. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah.